Hello and welcome to the webinar AI in Healthcare Potential and Pitfalls. First of all, thank you very much to all of you for sparing your valuable time and remaining present. We start with this tagline that AI in healthcare is not some future development, but it is a present reality. And entire webinar's main theme is to slowly make you realize this particular thing that globally, and not only globally but in India, AI in healthcare is now an accepted thing and it is already being launched in various solutions by government as well as private sector. I am the conductor of the webinar. These are my credentials: BCA, PG Diploma in Healthcare Analytics from IIIT Bangalore, MS in Data Science from Liverpool John Moores University, UK, MS in Applied AI from San Diego University, which will be completed in just a month, of course, and FinTech certification from MIT, US. More important than degree is this line that I have 8+ years of experience in various domains in AI, ML, and DS, but mainly for last 3 to 4 years, I have focused on healthcare and finance. To make you realize, let us open our website and portfolio. So if you see our portfolio, then you will immediately realize that most of the products are either for finance or healthcare sector. So I'm not talking about finance sector, but these kind of products, that is stock market predictions and risk analysis for stock market and all those things. But currently focusing on healthcare, this is a skin cancer detection multi-class classification app. There are 8 to 9 main types of skin cancers. So here, as this diagram shows, that user just has to take a photograph of his skin lesion and send, and this app which has an AI model which is used to detect which out of the 8 types of skin cancer it is, and whether it is dangerous, or because there are some cancers which are just harmless, while there are melanoma and other which are cause of death even in developed countries like US, and the user on his mobile gets complete guidance, as well as if he wants to book appointment with the dermatologist, he can book the appointment. The dermatologist is shown in this picture. That is important because we believe in doctor in the loop kind of solutions. So here AI model will assist and give its diagnosis, but apart from that, the doctor will cross verify and validate their diagnosis, and then it will give. Similarly, other is this there is one probability of heart attack, cardiac arrest prediction. Not only it predicts based on your age, gender, and weight, and BMI, and waist to hip ratio, and various factors, hypertension history, and all that. But once it predicts the probability that how much chance you have in maybe upcoming 6 months, 1 year, 2 years of developing cardiac complication, it also suggests which factor is the most responsible for your issue. So that means whether weight is responsible, or whether age is the most important issue, or what is. And if there are some factors which can be corrected by lifestyle changes, then the patient can then make that those changes. Similarly, there is another app somewhere here. Yeah, this diabetes prediction app. So here also, if patients certain information is given based on past medical records, then our model will predict whether he is having at risk of developing diabetes, that is whether he is pre-diabetic, or even before pre-diabetic he is having chances of developing pre-diabetes, or he is already severely diabetic, because diabetes is known as silent killer. Most of the people who develop it don't even realize it, that they have it. So such a handy application is useful. Here also we can see that this is we are not bypassing the doctor. This is app's output first goes to the doctor gives his own judgment, and then of course AI model will also create judgment, and then the judgment will be passed through the patient. The reason of selecting these 3 first was that these are, if you see the WHO's data, then these 3 are the most biggest killers globally: cardiac arrest, cancer, stroke, and diabetes. Stroke is not killer, but it creates a severe handicap. So there is one stroke prediction app also. It must be which detects the chances of this one. So it detects the probability or the chances of developing stroke in a patient. Okay, so again there also this consultation is off with human doctor first, and then only the conclusion is sent to the patient's app. Okay, so these 4, if you see the WHO's record, are the 4 main killers or main causes of huge health expenditure and affecting the quality of life of patient. So we have developed separate apps for them, because at that time the client's requirement were like that. But now we are in the process of developing one integrated solution which integrates all this, but and more some more other illnesses also, which can work as a screener or an assistant to an MD medicine doctor. Okay, thank you. Now, one more thing is, our specialty is we provide end-to-end solution. So as far as I know, if doctors of Surat want to develop this kind of solution, they won't find anyone else. As far as I know, okay. What is the meaning of end-to-end solution? That is given here. That machine learning is not a very simple process. It is a complex process and it has several stages. One process is data collection. Now, ideally, we want the client only to do this process, that he has to give us data, that's all. And he has to specify what are his business requirements, that is what he wants to achieve from the data. Whether he wants to predict the rate of readmission of patients, whether he wants to predict the availability of beds, whether he wants to predict the administrative aspects, when the new medicine should be ordered automatically, or when the more nurses would be required, or when less nurses would be required. So client has to provide this past data and what he wants to do with that data, that's all. And here also we will provide suggestion that in addition to your ideas, once we see the data, we can suggest so many things that sir, your data can even achieve these other things which you might not even have imagined. Okay, so here your responsibility as a client is over, everything else is done by us. Once we get the data, we clean it, we store it in appropriate type of database, we analyze the data, we create model. First model is created, a simple prototype is created, but then we productionalize that model. That is whether the model will scale properly, so that at a time if 100 patients simultaneously access your app, then whether the model will be able to handle them, or whether it will crash. Okay, then model deployment we will handle. So that is deploying your final model on AWS or Azure or GCP, Google's cloud. Okay, everything. So that means you will get a final app just deployed on the cloud. And I'm showing you one example also, what kind of final app you get. Okay, so then suppose, for example, this skin cancer prediction. Now here I think it is YouTube video, but I'm showing you this one. This is the another app which is cardiac risk, heart attack risk prediction, because I think I had deployed already on the cloud. Yes. So in this cardiac risk prediction app, we are entering gender 0 for male, so we are entering 1 for male and 0 for female. How many, what is the smoking history? So let us say 10 cigarettes per day. Hypertension is prevalent or not? So 0 for no, so I'm saying yes. Total cholesterol, so I am taking some slightly higher value. Diastolic BP, so there also I'm taking more than normal value. So that is somewhere around 90. Heart rate, there I am taking higher value of 85. Age, I am making senior citizen 76. On BP medicine, yes. Diabetes, yes. Systolic BP, so high blood pressure in common language, so that also I am making quite high, say 160 suppose. And BMI also I am making high, the pressure patient is overweight. And fasting glucose level, that also I'm making high, so that means he has the history of diabetes, sorry. And now I submit these values. So you will see that still with this, the probability is coming out to be less. Okay, that means not in the red zone. Okay, and here this kind of warning is also always displayed, that these results are not substitute for advice of a qualified medical professional. But more important than that, okay, he is currently not having diabetes in spite of all this. Okay, but more important than that, he is warned that glucose is going against you, red color means going against you, positive number, and this heart rate is fine. Okay, so that way he can easily decide what lifestyle changes he needs to bring. This is called explainability in the diagnosis, and this is the most challenging part. Okay, predicted probability is only 20%, and predicted class with cutoff of 42% is no heart attack. So this person is not likely to develop heart attack recently. But let us make age more, and maybe heart rate, let us introduce something like bradycardia and low heart rate. Let us make pressure a little bit higher, lower blood pressure, cholesterol let us increase dramatically, uh, BMI also let us increase dramatically, and fasting blood sugar level also let us increase dramatically, and then let us see. Now you can see that immediately the prediction falls in the far red region, and again the patient is given indication that what is going against the patient and what lifestyle changes the person needs to make. Okay, so this kind of app, now this is just a single app, but similarly one can make entire solution where a patient can get his chances of developing. So end-to-end developer, end-to-end solution means the doctor just give data of his say 500 patients, and we just give doctor the ready-made app as which I showed you. He does not have to bother anything about this. He just gave data and told me that I want to develop an app for the education of my patients so that they can know whether they have predisposition of heart attack or not. Now tell me, as a doctor, many are afraid that AI will take their job. Will this take the job, or I think this will fetch more patients? Because many patients who are not bothering to visit the clinic of the doctor, they can readily put the values in their mobile phone, and once they see that red color, if they fall in the red zone, and then immediately they will rush to the doctor that, oh my god, I never cared about my health, but I am having a very high probability of developing heart attack in upcoming maybe 2 years. So please now suggest medications as well as lifestyle changes. So that is the advantage of making healthcare accessible. Patient flow will definitely increase, it will not decrease. Okay, now this is called entire life cycle, and the work is done by this part: data collection, cleaning, storage, that is done by data engineers. Analysis of the data, that is whether there is invalid data. For example, age is 180 years or weight is 500 kilograms. So obviously they are the entry error made by the person who entered the data in the computer. So they needs to be corrected first, otherwise your model will give wrong answer. That is done by data analyst. Then the most important task of selecting which model, which algorithm to choose, and that is done by data scientist. Mostly these two work are done by data scientist only nowadays. There is no separate data analyst, nobody provides that luxury. And then this part, that productionalizing model and deploying the model and actually starting from here to everything, that is done by machine learning engineers. So that means data science project requires one entire team, and there are salary expenses, there are cloud expenses, so many things. Okay, so this is just a kind of education that when you approach a data scientist or machine learning engineer for a solution, then you should realize that cost is coming from which component. Okay, now one more important thing is that even after deployment, the job is not completely done. Okay, you have to continuously monitor the model and the data also. There are two phenomena, which one is called data drift. The characteristic of your data itself change. For example, in cardiac arrest, we had BMI, but now modern research says that more than BMI, waist to hip ratio is a better indicator of cardiac arrest risk. So now then we want to put waist to hip ratio as an additional feature, but then that will require this whole process to be done again. The model needs to be rebuilt, reproductionalized, put again on the cloud, and so on. So you have to monitor the data continuously in consulting with your client. Okay, then not only data changes, but even model performance also degrades over time. So when the model is deployed, initially it gives very high accuracy, 93%, 95%, and slowly it is called model drift, that the model performance starts going down. So at that time you have to realize that how much is acceptable to you. Suppose acceptable is say 89%, then as soon as model accuracy falls below 89%, the entire process needs to be redone. That is, again collect better data, again clean, again store, again improve your model, and again redeploy. So we try to automate the process as much as possible so that your app is not disturbed and it continues to work, but at the same time your improved model is deployed quickly. Okay, so that means in short what I want to explain by these two things is, what is the meaning of end-to-end solution. End-to-end means you just give data and you just tell what do you want to do with their data, and or just ask a question that this is my data, what can I do with this data, and thereafter you are free and you can focus on your practice or academics, whatever you want to do. Then rest is our headache. Okay. Now let us do one introduction to AI. So many people think that AI is itself ChatGPT, and many people even say that this ChatGPT is the villain because in 2023 it started and patients started self-diagnosis and everything. So you should understand that ChatGPT came in 2023, but that is just a very narrow subset of AI. Actual AI is like this, that there is this artificial intelligence AI. Inside AI there is machine learning. So when we are saying we are using machine learning, are we not using AI? then yes, we are using AI, because AI means everything inside this big bubble. So this is also AI, this is also AI, this is also AI, this is also AI, and all these are parts of AI. Okay, so that one needs to understand. So most of the firms nowadays, when they say that we are providing AI based healthcare solution, most of the time it is a marketing gimmick, and they are providing machine learning based healthcare solutions only, or neural network based, or something like that, Gen AI based, or that kind of healthcare solution. And GPT and Chat GPT, they are, and other model Gemini and Anthropic Claude, they are just other small small subset of AI. So AI is too big, very big thing. Okay, so you should understand that. And One more thing is, what is that? Sometimes when we go to some big hospitals or doctor client, they say that we are already storing our patients' data in digital manner, and therefore we are already using computers, so we don't need your services. So you should understand that these AI or machine learning systems, they are not the same thing as our traditional software system. What is the difference? I have taken a very simple example. Say suppose this is the Pythagoras theorem, hypotenuse A and B, right? And we want to calculate C, which is under the root A square plus B square, that we all know. Okay, simple formula. So traditional software system works like this, that you give some input A and B, algorithm is already fed into the computer, that is called programmed into the computer, that C is equal to under the root A square plus B square, right? And output on the screen or printer will be giving you this side C. So input, there is an input, there is processing unit, there is output. But machine learning system, they are different. This is traditional software system in which you give input and you give the pattern. Pattern means this formula, that all the inputs which I am giving, they are following this pattern. That the third thing which I am asking you to calculate, that is equal to under the root of square of first thing plus square of the second thing. So pattern you are giving as an input, and all inputs A and B also are giving, first thing and second thing also you are giving. Then the traditional software will calculate the output. So that is our traditional software system. Machine learning system do not work that way. For example, in this same case, this is how machine learning system work, that 3, 4, 5. So we are giving two inputs 3 and 4, and we are also giving the corresponding output as per the pattern. 3 square plus 4 square is equal to 5 square, and pattern we are not knowing, but past data itself will reveal the pattern. Then 6 square plus 8 square is equal to 10 square. So thousands of such observations are given, except this last one. Assume at present that last one is not present at all. So all these remaining observations, these thousands of such observations are given. Then the computer or the algorithm of machine learning, that automatically starts learning that, oh, if these and these are the A and B, then C is actually under the root the first square plus second square. That is followed by this first observation also, that is followed by second also, and that is followed by all those thousands of observations which you have done. So it learns the pattern. Okay, and once it learns the pattern, thereafter for some other observation, unknown values, you just provide inputs 12 and 35. You are not providing any formula, but it has learned formula by studying the pattern, that the answer which I have to find is under the root of first number square plus second number square. So it will find 37 here. Okay, 12 square plus 35 square under the root. So that will be 37. So this right side diagram, that shows the how machine learning works. You are giving inputs and you are also giving outputs. That is the meaning of these all thousands of observations. Okay, thousands of observations, and in return the algorithm of machine learning, that learns the pattern and it gives the pattern. Once the pattern is known, that is once this square is A square plus B square is known, then thereafter you can find any other input, one, first, second, third. It will use that pattern which it has learned. It automatically, from those thousands of observations, you have not fed this formula inside. So that is why it is called machine learning. Okay, the machine learns the pattern and applies that pattern on when you are not giving the output, but then it will calculate the output by using under the root 12 square plus 35 square. Okay, so this is the difference between machine learning system. Now we may find this strange, that why do this all this first, because this Pythagoras theorem is very simple, but the question is, Pythagoras example was given just as to convey the message. Most of the real life problems are such that for them such pattern is not known, and second is those patterns are very, very complicated. So the result does not just depend upon A and B, but the result depends upon hundreds of parameters, and sometimes square, sometimes square root, sometimes exponential, sometimes division, sometimes trigonometric function, sine A plus cos B, and all kinds of different functions are there. Okay, so what will happen is that no computer, no traditional software system will be able to solve that problem, because the pattern itself is unknown. But surprisingly, machine learning system, provided you give it sufficient number of observations, that is around minimum 10,000 or maximum, sometimes it requires, if complex pattern is there, then it requires millions of observations, then it learns the pattern to find the pattern, and using that pattern it learns to find the solution. Okay, so for example, in image recognition, that radiologist, so Google has today developed a solution for image recognition which is much more accurate than even the top radiologists of the world. Why? Because they actually took thousands of X-rays and MRI, not thousands, millions of X-rays and MRIs, and they got them annotated by expert radiologists and all over the world. That is globally, they hired and they paid them much high salary than what we can, earn from their practice. And then those expert radiologists annotated that this is looking like a cancerous lesion, this much is the spread, this is looking like benign, or this is looking like maybe malignant, this is having high growth rate, this is having low growth rate, the tissue type, whether this is smooth tissue or whether it is hard and all that. So they gave millions of annotated values to their model. So their model learned to detect the cancer from that. Okay, and thereafter now if you feed any X-ray or MRI, then it will give a very accurate diagnosis. So in a way, you should not say that we are using diagnosis without doctor's expertise. How can this work? How is this in interest of patient? No, doctor's expertise. In fact, this is collective doctor's expertise of thousands of 10,000, 20,000, or maybe 0.1 million doctors, and that also top doctors with years of experience. That collective expertise is embedded now in this pattern recognition. So it recognizes the pattern that these features indicate this type of cancer, and this other type of features indicate that type of cancer, and this indicates that this is not cancerous tumor, but it is some other kind of what you call benign tumor. So their model learned from doctors' collective intelligence only. So now that model predicts automatically and detects cancer. So there is no formula, no, for this kind of case. To detect cancer, there is no Pythagoras equation. So you have to do these only. Take as many observations as possible, use machine learning algorithm, and force that algorithm to learn the pattern. Okay, so this is how our these systems work. So they are probabilistic system, while these are deterministic. Deterministic means this is first same fixed answer, while here it will say that this looks like a cancer with a probability of maybe 95%, or probability of sometimes it will say that it looks like a cancer but with a probability of just 55%. So at that time, second, third opinion will be taken, because chemo radiotherapy cannot be given just on the basis of 55% probability. Okay, now this thing. So what is AI? Then to define AI, we first define intelligence, because many people get offended by even this word artificial intelligence, because they find it very bitter that we have spent 35 years of our life in collecting the expertise in one particular domain, and now we are saying that some hardware chip or some model running inside hardware chip is having intelligence. But don't be offended. Here the meaning of word intelligence is very narrow. So let us try to understand what is the meaning of word artificial intelligence. Okay. So the meaning is defined by Turing's test. And Turing's test, Turing is the name of one genius computer wizard who gave this test in 1950. At that time, there were no practical AI, but he is called the father of laying foundation for the AI. He developed entire conceptualization that someday if smart systems will develop which are equivalent to human beings, what characteristics should those systems have? Okay, so this is that famous Turing test. Now here is a human interrogator. He asks one question to this machine, that is a computer, and a human, expert human. For example, he asks that question only. We are taking at present that as a tough question, that A is equal to 3 and B is equal to 4, then what is hypotenuse? So he asks the question to this, he asks the question to this. Or maybe he gives one radiological image, one copy to this and one copy to expert radiologist, and asks a question that whether this is benign cancer or whether this is malignant cancer, and how advanced it is, how many months or years the patient has, like that. Okay. Now, this person who is asking the question, by supplying that MRI or X-ray, he has no idea that here on this side machine is sitting and here on this side human is sitting. Similarly, these two also do not have each other. In short, all three cannot see each other, but they respond with their answer. Okay, so here human radiologist responds with his answer from that X-ray or MRI, and here this this computer responds with his answer. If these two answers are equivalent or they are indistinguishable for this human interrogator, he cannot distinguish which answer came from machine and which answer came from expert. Okay, then we will say that this system is working exactly like human being. Okay, because whatever answer it gave, that answer was as good as the answer which we received from an actual human expert. Okay, So this is how this thing is defined. AI is defined that AI is study of designing agents which, without human intervention or without explicit programming, nobody programmed that Pythagoras theorem because, as I said, how to recognize cancer, that does not have any mathematical formula, so you cannot put it. So without human intervention or without explicit programming, can do following. Now, can do following, there are many different gradations of AI. But I am not interested in one, so I will not even talk about that. I am not interested in two, I will not even talk about that also. The reason is that these two approaches have found to be deficient. They have found to be having certain issues, and therefore they are not used in modern AI. This approach is the only current approach, and it is currently practically used. That is this one. Fourth approach, that is AI agents should think like human being. That is also still not achieved perfectly. So that is why I am not considering that also. So now if I read the definition, I am only considering this third option. Okay, AI is study of designing agents which, without human intervention or explicit programming, can act like human. That's all. So when we say intelligence, there is no need to be offended. For a narrow set of tasks, it acts like human. That means this computer is as good as expert radiologist. Some other computer system or some other algorithm may be as good as some cardiologist, like that. If you can design that, then okay. So then an agent which, without human intervention or explicit programming, can act like human, then we will say that it has passed the Turing test. Okay. So this is used as a foundational AI foundation in AI at present. And there is one important thing which you should understand, that act like human means it produces result which is same as result given by an expert. So how it arrives at that result, that is not our botheration. Say this expert may be having different ways of thinking to arrive at cancer diagnosis. Computer algorithm will follow totally different steps and arrive at same diagnosis. So that is perfectly fine. You cannot say that I will not use computer diagnosis because it does not follow exactly the same step as the radiologist is following. Because there is this analogy, bird versus airplane. So right from our history, mankind was wanted to fly. But as long as men tried to fly exactly like bird, that is, we should have wings and those wings should flutter. So birds fly that way. So we know that in Greek history there is one person called Icarus, whose father was a craftsman, and he made him some wings of wax and bird feathers, and he jumped from the top of a cliff and tried to fly by fluttering his hands, that is those wings which his father had made. He tied it with the hands of the Icarus. So he fell down and died. Okay. Then after many such attempts, mankind realized that okay, our purpose is to fly. Our purpose is not to flutter wings. So we developed a totally different mechanism. The different mechanism is that we developed an airplane which runs on a runway with very high speed, and due to that high speed, those who have learned a little bit of science, they know the Bernoulli principle, that some pressure builds from the bottom of the wings of the airplane. So airplane wings do not flutter like that. Okay, they are steady, but some pressure develops upwards, and as a result, if you run very fast on the runway, slowly your airplane starts flying. And today in the world, daily thousands of passengers are traveling through airplane. At that time, you cannot argue like that this airplane is not fluttering the wings like a bird, so I will not sit in that airplane. So that is your choice, don't sit, but then you will not be able to get transported. Exactly similarly is the situation here. Say this AI system diagnoses cancer and the radiologist diagnoses cancer, and if both achieve the same result, then that is called act like human. So act like human does not mean that they should follow the same steps also. The final outcome should be same as the final outcome which is done in this manner. Okay, and if you see carefully, then this would require so many abilities in the computer system. First, it will be able to understand languages, because this operator will give it a problem that this is the X-ray or MRI, and focus on this area, find area of lesion, and tell me. So he should be able to understand English. Otherwise, computers normally do not understand English. They just understand 0 and 1 binary language, right? So somehow we incorporated language that led to development of one whole branch, natural language processing. This should be able to automatically reason without human intervention. So some reasoning capacity needed to be embedded. We need to represent the knowledge. Computer understands only maths. So you will be surprised, but those thousands of MRI or X-ray images which were used to train the model, they were converted into mathematical matrices, maths. Okay, so everything in computer is ultimately converted into a maths, and that also maths of only 0 and 1. So that means that is called knowledge representation. I speak, it can be converted to 0 1. Somebody develops music, can be converted to 0 1. Somebody throws a picture into the computer, converted to 0 1. Somebody throws an X-ray, converted to 0 1. So anything is ultimately converted into binary, then that is called knowledge representation. And machine learning is that somehow machine should be able to learn from the pattern. Here I told you that if you give thousands of observation, then as an output some pattern is obtained. Okay, so AI is not simple business, because the machine should have these abilities, then only it would satisfy this condition that it will learn without human interaction or explicit programming, and it will act like human being. I hope I have made myself clear. Okay, thank you. Now our actual webinar starts from this slide. This left side shows that AI is already becoming ubiquitous in our daily life. For example, this banks use it for fraud detection, particularly digital payment fraud detection. Retailers like Amazon, Flipkart, they use it for recommendation. So as soon as you log in and search for a laptop, immediately based on your profile and your past purchase history, immediately the most likely things which you have more chance of buying are displayed first. Okay, so you will see different suggestions. If in the same room you can ask someone else who has a different profile and he is searching for laptop, he may get totally different suggestions which are customized to him. Okay, then anomaly detection, that is something unusual is there, then that can be detected. Marketing, how to achieve maximum marketing potential with minimum budget. Investment, image recognition, that is that X-ray, etc. That is just one parameter. Image recognition is used in many aspects. Navigation, Google Maps you use. Photo editing, automatically AI-based photo editing. AI assistants, this can be used for healthcare, as an assistant to the doctor. Then patient diagnosis, demand forecasting, spam filtering, and all these different things. Our focus is only on this kind of case, patient diagnosis, AI assistants, which doctors can use. But doctors can use also this type of case, customer retention, because nowadays everybody is customer, so even patient is called a customer. So then how to prevent customer churn, that is how to recognize that this patient is looking unsatisfied, and most probably after one or two visits, or maybe next visit itself, he won't come and go to other doctor. Okay, and how to prevent that. Okay, that is called customer retention. Then AI assistants can be used, who do initial history taking and all that thing, and final discharge summary, who do the follow-up and appointment booking and other administrative tasks. So many things. Marketing, so even hospitals nowadays need to do marketing. So which channels are most effective, social media or newspaper or TV or radio or on-road marketing, which or hoardings, what is useful, what optimizes the expenses and fetches maximum number of customers, like that. So this can be used. Okay, and this is the actual webinar where we start like this. First part is state of the art in the healthcare AI. Now, state of the art means I have taken care that throughout this discussion we will not touch anything which was earlier than 2024. In fact, most of the things are just 2025 and 6. The reason is this field is changing so fast that things become stale. So when you read research, etc., then also you should avoid research. Unless of course you are preparing for a degree or something, you have to know the entire history. But otherwise, you should avoid the research and avoid older and stale research papers and focus only on recent research papers. Okay. Then state of the art of healthcare in Indian context. This was in global context. Second is in Indian context. Then high impact domains. Which domains are most likely to be impacted or are already being impacted? Okay. Then and which domains are relatively AI proof domain? Then safety, bias, hallucination, regulation, liability, privacy. That is some risk factors associated with AI. And finally, this section for the researchers, in which I have given very valuable links for people who want to do serious research and publish in reputed journals. Okay, so let us start. First part, state of the art for healthcare AI global development. So first catch line here says that this is now not the question relevant today. It is an old question. Is the AI accurate? Because earlier AI adoption in healthcare was lagging because doctors were skeptical that whether it is in the benefit of patients or not. Okay, and they were saying that AI is not sufficiently accurate to deploy. But as this seminar ends, you will realize that in many domains it has surpassed human accuracy, and it is saving literally thousands of lives. Okay, so yes, AI is accurate. So that question is already solved. Then what is the problem? Why healthcare sector is not being able to adapt the AI as fast as other fields? That is because of this reason. Accurate it may be, but whether it is safe, auditable means whether AI prescribes some treatment, then it should be later on, if some issues occur, then it should be later on able to explain everything, that why, what symptoms were considered and why it suggested that particular treatment. And some human expert doctor, if some legal complication arises, then human expert doctor should be able to audit. Okay, whether it is clinically useful, That is, in research, everything looks sometimes fine. That yes, model is producing 93% accuracy, but clinically useful is a different thing, because patient's education level, patient's linguistic probability. For example, if you are making a solution for India, first you have to think that patient may not even be literate. So if you make a solution and in which patient is supposed to read something and select something, but he is not literate at all, so what to do for that? Or sometimes you need to make solution only in regional languages, because patient may not be knowing even Hindi properly. So what to do? So something which works and accurate does not mean it is clinically useful. Second, is it properly regulated? And this is the most important thing. Can it be integrated in current hospitals, that is legacy system, already existing systems? And is it equitable? That means, does it give equal justice to rich patient, poor patient, black patient, white patient, males, females? Or does your algorithm has a bias for females against females or against black patients? You have to develop an equitable algorithm. Okay, so this is now focus. Accuracy is not issue. In fact, if I show you this Lancet article, and you know that Lancet is one of the definitive source, okay, for healthcare AI. So if I show you that article, then you will realize that there is only architectural gap in AI. Architectural gap means that model accuracy or technological improvement is now solved issue. There is no need to improve existing model. Even the existing models can do things very well. But then what is the issue? Infrastructure is still old. There are no clear-cut governance and monitoring. Or you can say that some governments are slowly building the guidelines and rules, but still everything is in the fluid range. Then how to design the workflow which works in existing workflow of the doctors and nurses and patients, because doctors are as such also busy, so they do not have time to learn some new tool for 15 days. The tool should be so easy that within just 1 or 2 hours training, the doctors and patients should be able to start using it. Okay, so better models are now not required. That is what this Lancet article says. It is infrastructure. And now if I this paragraph is the key paragraph. I will not read the entire, but you can download from here because the links are there. Then European Union is regulatory constraint, strict regulatory constraint. But the finding of this review, this is European Union's study, that central challenges are not even regulatory barrier. So even governments are nowadays becoming cooperative and lenient, that you can use AI, but under certain guidelines. Clinicians also express high confidence in accuracy and completeness of LLMs, and this they found that reports were very simplified by the use of this, and releasability and safety were but it was found that releasability and safety were lower, reflecting uncertainty about authorization. So who will take the responsibility? Who will authorize? Finally, LLM gives a report, then who will sign that report? Okay, supervision. Who will supervise? And that is the reason why when we are developing solutions for healthcare, we are never leaving doctor out of the loop. Some companies are already starting to leave doctors out of the loop in developed countries, but I think it is our technology has not yet matured. This is 2026 February, that is very recent report, and it also says the same thing. Okay, so and it says that model performance is no longer the dominant constraint. However, the presence of AI model in routine care is still marginal because of maintaining compatibility with existing system or legacy system. Okay, so this is the current situation at present. So technology is not lagging. The point is how to make it mix with existing setup of the hospitals. That is the biggest challenge nowadays. And certain domains where it is already being clinically deployed, they are radiology, cardiology, pathology, and ophthalmology. That becomes clear from this particular link. That is US FDA list of AI-enabled medical devices. Okay, and if you see that, then you realize that in some domains, these are so many devices which are approved by US FDA, and these are the branches. If I see that column, this panel and lead column, then you will see that radiology is practically a solved problem. So radiologists should use AI, and in Surat also I think some radiologists have started AI based diagnosis, and you should not worry that you are going to lose your job, because suppose I become expert I'm non-medico and I become expert for radiology, AI-based radiological diagnosis, but I cannot start signing that radiological reports. Okay, so I'm not allowed by the government. So AI tools are allowed, but they are only allowed under the supervision of a qualified radiologist. So they are there to reduce your workload, to maybe help hopefully reduce the cost and hardship of the patients, and they are there to make your work efficient and give you second opinion directly. So AI will give his diagnosis, its diagnosis, and you will give your diagnosis. And if there is a severe mismatch, then only you need to consult the third radiologist. You can say everywhere radiology, radiology, radiology will be there. Similarly, pathology. Now this pathology is also a solved problem actually. So if I actually show one diagram, then you will realize that pathology has been solved from 1995. Okay, just a second. Now this is one chart which I have prepared based on that same US FDA list, this list, but I presented it diagrammatically, year on x-axis and the branch, so that you will realize which branches are more susceptible to the use of AI and which branches are relatively immune. So pathology, if you see, first pathological machine was developed in 1995, and you can see many solutions have been developed. Okay, then anesthesiology also 1997. Radiology, you can see large number of these. Each is a company. Don't bother to read their names because names are mixing with each other. But as I take my cursor, that whenever a rectangle appears, these are different companies, and total 1500 companies have globally been approved. Okay, for that. Hematology, you can see it has so large number of approvals, and starting from year 2001, that is last 25 years. But at the same time, certain branches, surgical branches mainly, ortho, you can see that very few solutions are available, and even these solutions are also, these are approved by US FDA, but mostly they are approved under the supervision of surgeon. Okay, urology, so any surgical, dental, any surgical has very few solutions available. So if you are choosing some career for your kid, then you should keep these things in mind and try to avoid, if you are afraid of AI, I don't see any reason of being afraid of AI, but people are afraid. They think that AI will steal everybody's job. So at that time you can avoid these branches and you can go for this kind of branches. Okay, now, so US FDA, and US FDA is one of the strictest quality control regime. More strict is of course European Union. So that's why I selected these two links. This Lancet link was for European Union and this was for US FDA. And both ultimately agree that models are sufficiently good, but how to embed them in existing architecture, that is the big challenge. How to make them clinically useful, that is the big challenge, and these are the areas which are very hot. Okay, one more thing is this also, you can see that now all over world the governments are shifting their stance. Earlier the stance was that we don't want AI in healthcare because we cannot play with the life of human beings, but now the stance is changing. All over world the stance is now, okay, we will allow AI in healthcare, but with certain rules and regulation and under the supervision of doctor. Say this is change control plan. Now if you see this change control plan, what is that? Actually, when I earlier discussed this thing, what a full stack data scientist does, I said here that model performance actually degrades over time. So model which was giving 97% accuracy, that will give its accuracy will go down with time. So at that time we need to monitor, as a machine learning or AI professional, we need to monitor, improve the model and redeploy the model in a non-disruptive manner. So this is the guideline for that. It says that the companies or the manufacturer who are building AI enabled devices, they are responsible for periodically updating the software in a non-disruptive manner. That is what this guideline is. So point is, now from outright ban in the on AI in the healthcare, now the stress is changing more, that allow, but allow in a gradual, careful manner and with strict regulations. Okay, now here we continue with global discussion. So there are certain cases where AI has become very successful. There are certain cases where AI has mixed the result. Okay, for it. But first, this is what we as a company do. Okay, this is history. This is how the workflow of doctors normally goes. First, history is taken, then diagnosis is made, then treatment is done, and then a follow-up is done. After treatment, regular follow-up with the doctor is required. Now, currently, as far as our organization firm is concerned, we have deliberately taken a decision that we will not enter into this thing, diagnosis and treatment, because we will allow the technology to be sufficiently mature. Okay. So we are developing solutions based on these only, and I will show you the demo of that solution also later on. But history taking should be automated completely. Discharge from a patient's admission to discharge, everything should be with zero paperwork, because that paperwork is creating a lot of stress and headache for medical professionals. And follow up with the patient. So here in these two areas there is a big opportunity. These are called AI scribes. Scribes means you just speak into it and it will convert it into text, store it digitally into the database. If required, it will pass it to the app on the cloud, and the patient can also read if you allow whatever you want to allow the patient to read. And regarding this part, follow up also. Once the treatment is over, you can automatically send reminders to the patient, maybe 3 times a day, that your medicine time is there, then appointment, that your appointment is there. Then regarding lifestyle, that you were given a target of reducing your weight by 10 kg over a period of 6 months, and you were prescribed some exercises, are you doing them, and some motivation or something. So as an added frill, this kind of things make the patient feel that he is being given personal attention. However, this is a research report, uh, and I'm not going into the whole research report, but it is a very reputed medical journal, and it says that AI scribes, and again I have chosen only very recent, November 2025. Okay, so as of November 2025, they studied many such AI scribe systems, and these many notes generated by AI were studied, more than 70,000 notes, and a randomized trial was done. Okay, and it was found that there are mixed results. So certain in certain domains, it was found that AI scribes work very well, and the doctors expressed full satisfaction with the history taking and everything. But in certain other domain, or in certain linguistic areas where patients are not speaking English or Hindi, then there would be issues. So then the doctors were not very satisfied. So that is what I want to say. Okay, we are building one such solution, and I will just show a brief, only one demo of that. I will not play entire video of 20 minutes, but link is there, you can play and see. Okay, so this is how our solution will work, and we have made everything voice based, so that illiterate patient or any patient does not even need to read anything from the screen. The app will speak, that describe your health problem, or in Hindi, that आपकी आरोग्य समस्या बताए, और in Gujarati तुम्हारी आरोग्य समस्या बोलो. It can speak in 11 different languages of India. Okay, and once the patient starts describing, first past medical history is taken, then his problem specific. For example, he has complained chest pain, then cardiology specific. If he has complained respiratory issue, then chest, I mean severe coughing, then respiratory specific. If he has complained of severe abdominal pain, then GI gastroenterologist specific. That kind of further questions are asked, and entire clinical note will be automatically prepared, and the note will be sent to the doctor's web app. So there will be two parts of the app. One is the patient facing app, and another is the doctor facing side. The doctor will get the summary of the patient's history, and patient can even give this history from the comfort of his home. It will be stored in the cloud, which are HIPAA compliant, that is security and privacy are ensured, and then doctors will review the history. Thereafter, app will present the patient's app will present two choices, that do you want to go for diagnosis and prescription also. If the patient chooses yes, then here we have taken care that this diagnosis and prescription are not done by only AI. AI will give its own diagnosis, but a human doctor will be there here. Okay, so because we don't want some experimental technology to play with the life of people. Okay, so human doctor will be there. The human doctor will confirm with AI diagnosis, and thereafter both if agree, then they will prescribe the prescription. Patient will get his medicine and everything, and all these things are done. If patient just says no, I don't want to take treatment from you, so then in that case he can just download his history, and thereafter he can go to other doctor, whichever doctor he wants to choose. Okay, so we are not binding the patient to our platform. That is what our model is at present. It is not a good business sense, but everything is not business in life. Okay, so now and you will see that India's Apollo Hospital is doing this, but I will show you their mechanism, and you will feel that how this is going to work, unless the patient understands English properly. Where is their mechanism? If I show you, yes, this is their mechanism. Now you see, first of all, their interface is in English, book appointment, find hospital, etc. Everything. I tried to find, but I could not. Yeah, here some languages are there. No, only English is there. Then Arabic, etc. is there. Maybe Hindi is there, but at least no Indian regional languages. Yeah, Bengali is there. Okay, so some language choices are there. But then here, for example, he is asked, that means the whole interface is text based. So he is asked to select even in his language. Now, suppose the person is totally illiterate, then he will not be able to read all these things. Then he is asked to choose the disease by clicking on the alphabet. That if he has jaundice, then he will click J and all that. Which I find that an illiterate person who does not even, identify J, or even its Hindi equivalent, that is jaundice means पीलिया, then उसको पी आता ही नहीं है तो वो चूज कैसे करेगा? So that is the issue. Okay, hopefully they think that that kind of patient will not come to high profile hospital like Apollo. That might be the reason. Okay, but one more thing which I want to say is that I still admire them for their initiative. The reason is they have already allocated 3.5% of their budget on digital spend on AI. Here you can read that, and this is a huge multinational chain. They have 10,000 beds across India. Okay, so 3.5% of their budget is a good amount. And the second thing is this have allocated the budget after doing study that these AI tools will reduce nurses' workload by 25. Yeah, they are experiencing at present 25% attrition rate among nurses. That is, 1 in 4 nurse periodically leaves the job and they have to find the replacement. 25% is very high attrition rate. Trained nurses are difficult to find, and if 1 in 4 nurse goes on leaving the job because of workload, then what will be the situation? Okay, and they found that not only that, but this attrition rate is going to be around 30%. So 1 in 3 nurses will leave because of heavy workload. So they decided that we have to do something about administrative workload, and therefore they cannot go on increasing salary indiscriminately because that will put a burden on the patients. So they have decided to put 3.5% of the budget on AI tools. That is what I wanted to tell about these AI scribes, and we can provide that solution. Okay, one more thing which I want to say is this, that whose guideline now allows use of multimodal languages, that is ChatGPT, Gemini, etc. on for healthcare. Earlier, as I said, the whole mechanism was just ban AI, but now from ban, the culture is changing all over world. Who is the nodal body which regulates healthcare all over world? Then this is a very nice report, and it is free to download, so you must download that. Okay, and they have allowed use of general purpose foundational models like ChatGPT or Anthropic Claude or Google's Gemini to be used in treatment or other hospital administration. This Mad Gemini is a very interesting example because as far as medical developments are concerned, this is perhaps the most advanced. So this article, this blog is from Google research only, and I strongly recommend. Again, the date is just May 2024, so not very old. And how Mad Gemini is changing. Mad Gemini is our Gemini model only, but it has been augmented by many different ways to tailor it specifically for healthcare sector. Okay, and of course that they are not allowing in the public. So you have, if you want to use it, just like ChatGPT, you have to pay money. So it is not that you can download it and put it on your server. So that's not there. Okay, but you can see that. On this MedQA USMLE accuracy, it is found to be 91.1% accurate, even surpassing GPT-4, and that is 2024 May data. So this is how that MedGemini works. It is a multimodal model, so you can feed into it image, then other voice, then everything, 2D image, 3D image, even genetic profile of the person, and it can do all these things. Okay, and this is one example of how that MedGemini detects the disease. So just look at this, and this also multimodal medical AI. This one. Multimodal, as I said, means you can give any type of input, not just a text, but image or that sound or any other type of input is possible. So, for example, you can take the heartbeats of the patient and feed it to MaidGemini, and it will try to detect the abnormalities in the heart and risk factors, just like an expert cardiologist detects. Okay, so the point again is that what I want to make is that these solutions are already being used. So it is not that they are some future things which we are discussing, and who has already approved and just given guidelines that you can use multimodal models, but you have to follow these guidelines, okay, which emphasize on safety, ethics, governance, equity, and accountability. Due to this reason, accountability, currently all hospitals or everybody, they are just using doctor in the loop approach, because if you allow autonomously, as such, I will later on give you some examples where some companies are bold enough to completely even eliminate the doctor. But if you eliminate the doctor, the question is, if that AI makes some mistake, who is accountable? You cannot punish an algorithm. So that is why these WHO guidelines follow this accountability, and that is the reason why we have taken conscious decision of staying away from these two. Okay, now there is this trial GPT. Now this trial GPT is an interesting case, because one of the most biggest revolution AI will bring in healthcare is in drug discovery. Currently, if a new antibiotic molecule is to be developed, then it used to take 8 to 10 years to develop one new drug for a particular disease, because you know that bacteria get resistant to the old antibiotic. Now, the old process was like this, that you have to collect 50,000 or 1 lakh candidate molecules, from which you have to shortlist you have to try each and every 50,000 molecules, and then shortlist a few more which are showing potential, and then try animal trial with those few more. So 1 or 2 molecules will found to be successful to kill the bacteria in animal trial. If animal trial succeeds, then after a lot of delay, you will get permission for human trial, volunteer human trial, and then you can put your drug in the market. So the whole cycle of putting a new drug in the market, that is that 8 to 10 years. So sometimes you have heard that kind of thing, that this pill, its chemical inside, it just costs maybe 5 rupees, and the pharmaceutical company is selling for 95 rupees. They are profiting, they are doing wild profits and etc. But you should understand that 5 rupees and 95 rupees, that is not the total complete price difference of chemicals price, but it is also including all the expenses which were incurred in intervening period of those 8 to 10 years, when their company also has to pay its pharmacists and clinical researchers and all. So then only a new drug can develop. So that pill of its chemical may be of 5 rupees only, but it is sold in 100 rupees or 95 rupees, because it includes the cost of all those 8 to 10 years of research. Okay. That is the reason why pharmaceutical industry has to give away its copyright after a certain period, and then the generic drugs are made. Generic drugs do not do any invention; they just take the research from some research whose copyright has expired, and then they build that medicine in a factory. So that is why generic drugs are cheaper. But for new drug discovery, it was very costly process. Now, how AI is helping here? So initially there are 50,000 or 1 lakh candidate molecules. Earlier, as I said, you had to try each and every. But now AI first uses predictive model, and from 1 lakh it shortlist the 50 most likely molecules which are going to succeed in the trial, and predictions are getting very accurate, maybe 95% accuracy. So then the company focuses only on those 50 molecules in the animal trial, and therefore the whole process, which was 8 years, has now shrunk to around 3 years. So new drugs, new cures are being developed at a very fast rate compared to earlier. Okay. This is the example. I'm not clicking on that link, but the example of Nature. Again, Nature is very reliable source. Then it discusses the phase 2A trial of this particular inhibitor for idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis. Idiopathic word in medicine is used when one cannot find the cause of something. If some illness arises and its cause cannot be decided, then it is called idiopathic. Now, if something is idiopathic, then obviously it is very difficult to find a drug for that, because the cause is not known. Then how to begin which kind of molecule will be effective? So for that, this AI is helping a lot, and it has already found this pulmonary fibrosis is also one of the big killer of globally. So this new drug has been approved just in 2026. It is AI discovered drug. Okay. Similarly, there is another drug, another tool rather, AIM NASH, that is used to speed the drug development for liver disease. Again, liver diseases are very prevalent globally due to our food habits, alcohol, and even the cancer is also one cause. So this tool develops is specialist tool which uses AI to build to define drugs for liver diseases. What I want to point is that WHO then FDA. These are the strict regulatory body. They are allowing it. So that means that slowly the emphasis is changing from banning AI to this regulating, allowing AI, but with regulations and guidelines. Okay, and as such also, whenever regulation comes, but whenever a revolutionary technology comes, then regulation will never stop the onslaught. Why? There are three reasons: capital, platform model, and ethics dumping. I am at present just explaining capital. Capital, you will be surprised, but total amount of money which is riding on AI in healthcare is in just 1 year investment which is done on that domain, that is more than the GDP of our country. So trillions of dollars are being deployed, and whether we like or not, but capital is something which governs the world. So there is no way now these rich people and the owners of those companies will someday allow to go the regulation backwards and ban AI. It is never going to happen. Money wins everything that we know in today's world. Platform model and ethical dumping, that I will talk after a while, but you just remember these two words at present: platform model and ethical dumping. Okay, now let us see this one. This is an interesting story that Doctronic. It is a AI chatbot which can even prescribe the medicine without doctor in loop. So they have now slowly even blurring this boundary. As I said, we as an organization have decided we will not venture into this part, but some organizations which are bold, and of course they have huge capital backing them, they have now entering even in the diagnosis part. So this is that Doctronics, and this is the 6 means June 2026, and US FDA for the first time has allowed it to renew certain medical prescriptions without any human interaction. So certain simple prescription, maybe some schedule H drugs or those type of drugs, psychotropic substances, it may not be able to, but certain simple prescriptions, the AI tool will be able to prescribe, and they are valid for all purpose, insurance and getting the drugs from the pharmacy in US or everything. Okay, then other reason why regulation will not succeed is this: these are the companies which have already discussed their arm, a separate arm, which will focus exclusively on AI. Anthropic, Google, OpenAI, IBM, one more is Meta, that is the Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook's, and Microsoft, and these are two big Chinese giants, Alibaba and Tencent. And all are investing heavily. If I show you their pace of investment, somewhere somebody has done a post to see, yeah, this diagram. Now this diagram, I'm just showing the Google part. This, and these companies are so giant that they don't have to build a particular domain company from scratch. If they find some small company which has done good work in cancer research, they will simply buy entire company. There is another company which has done some good work in liver diseases, they will buy another company. For example, we know Google search engine, but this Google has already bought this many companies in the healthcare sector. So obviously they are not buying just for fun, and they have decided that we will use this in our business model. Okay, so that is one thing, that capital, power of capital, which I wanted to say, that is the power of capital. Anthropic, this total investment which is made by all these companies should be more than $1 trillion per year on healthcare AI. Okay, another thing where AI is developing revolutionary solutions is in diabetes, personalized medicine, and many other things. For example, in diabetes, this was very recently research was done, and this research was done using AI tools, May 2026. Okay, and the research says that there is a protein in our body called ubiquitin, and that protein, earlier its role was thought to be limited. They're like a janitor in our body, that wherever damaged proteins are there during the generation of new cells, etc., it just recycles them or removes them from our body, a cleaner type role. But surprisingly, this study found that actually it has a big role in controlling glycogen, that is the form in which glucose is stored in our body. And they developed a treatment for diabetes, and they claim that they can even reverse the insulin resistant diabetes, okay, using this protein. Okay. No chemical, no drug discovery, our human protein only. So there is no question of any cross reaction or adverse reaction also. Then there is one more, this case. Okay, this case, for example, personalized medicine. So this is that case that from a terminal cancer, this person got a complete turnaround. And normally you will find thousands of such videos on GitHub, sorry, on YouTube, etc., and all are not reliable. But this one is reliable because I have a lot of respect for this guy who is the co-founder of GitLab. He is a non-profit kind of organization, and he has actually is working not with complete money-minded attitude in IT sector. Okay. Now what happened is he got a very complex kind of rare kind of cancer in very advanced state, and his doctors gave him some 6 months time. So he immediately consulted this guy who is a geneticist, that is a genomics expert, and gave his genes. And on the basis of his genes, the two together consulted ChatGPT and designed their own treatment. Of course, they kept the oncologist also in loop. So please don't consider this as an advice that ChatGPT directly will prescribe treatment and I will start taking and I will get well. They took the oncologist also in loop. Oncologist was also surprised that this looks like a promising option, because in any case you have 6 months left. And he got a complete turnaround, and today he is his cancer, by all tests it has been proven that he has no cancer now. So that is why he put his story on the YouTube. So this is called personalized medicine. That is deciding your own treatment based on your genetic history, keeping your doctor in the loop. That is the safe approach. Then this is Stanford's sleep research. Now whenever you want to discuss, study any research, then Stanford medicine, then Mayo Clinic, John Hopkins, then Harvard. These are some. One other. Berkeley. So these are some universities which are globally reputed. So you can have an assurance that they are not fudging the data or something, and the research is considered reliable. So these guys, now this shows the mind-boggling speed at which these things are progressing. These Stanford researchers produced a research paper in November 2025. The research was that on the basis of just a single one-night polysomnograph of a person, you can predict whether that person is having predisposition to more than 130 different diseases, and the prediction improved 5 to 7%, 17% the outcomes compared to outcomes which are obtained by only consulting doctor. Now the sleep periods, you don't have to do anything, just go in a sleep clinic, put 9 or 10 electrodes on your body and go to sleep. A graph of your activity, brain activity, and your body vitals and everything of that, those 10 hours or 8 hours will be taken. You just have to upload that graph here. Upload graph. AI will do its analysis and you can view the result. That result will tell you how much is your chances of developing more than 130 diseases. And those diseases are in almost all specialties. That is maybe gynecology, then even orthopedic, whether you will develop osteoarthritis or not, to maybe neurological disorders, then psychiatric disorders, then cardiac disorders, kidney disorders, all those things. They more than 130 diseases, their probability of your getting that disease in upcoming maybe 2 years or 3 years is obtained by the report. Now think about this. What is the preventive value of this? That means even before you catch the disease or get the disease, you already know that I have a predisposition to that disease. And the test is also very simple. One night's sleep. You don't have to give blood sample, no genetic sample, nothing. So your privacy is also ensured, right? So then this is a revolutionary study. And that platform model word which I use here. Now the thing is that when this research came in our hand, now I am becoming very candid here. So when this research came in our hand, somewhere in November 2025, research was published, and we studied it. I periodically go on studying various this kind of research. So we studied it in December only, and we decided we will do something about this particular thing. We even talked with some potential doctor partners who will offer their clinic for that polysomnograph. But we requested them that we are busy in other projects, so please keep this confidential at present. And before we even think about launching, these Meta guys have already launched it. Because these are, if you see who has ultimately launched it, then somewhere they are using the Manus. That is a Chinese model which was acquired by Meta. So somewhere it was written. In short, Mark Zuckerberg. Now obviously you can't win in simple money terms against that guy, right? So See the speed. November 2025 research is published, and this is May 2026, and they have already built the platform. And the dangerous thing with platform is that anybody globally who has the internet will be able to access that. So how will you prevent AI in that kind of case? 6 billion people use Facebook or Instagram. Can you prevent them? So it's just like that. This is. And other thing is ethics dumping. So what is this ethics dumping? We'll come to that. But at least one term is now becoming clear. Okay. And oncology. In the oncology, this is the research from Mayo Clinic. I will not play the whole video, just this title is enough. That this Mayo Clinic uses AI to achieve breakthrough in diagnosing cancer. And the first comment is very interesting. That if you see this video, the humility. Doctor was so polite and ethical person that he admitted that he diagnoses this kind of cancer at 50% rate, while this AI is diagnosis at 97% rate. So cancer, the most dangerous thing about cancer is always late diagnosis. By the time it is found, it is usually too late. Okay. Now, this in organ transplant, this is one very interesting case. Again, very recent case. And here also AI played its role. I will tell you how. But this South Korean scientist, they successfully 3D printed living cornea and restored vision in totally blind patients. And 3D printers are not very costly. I think you in less than 10 lakh rupees you can get a 3D printer, and you can, that means, print cornea in bulk. However, the question is, 3D printer required a three-dimensional design also. Otherwise, how will they print the cornea? So for that, AI was used. In 3D images of this healthy cornea were taken. Every minute capillary, every minute part of the healthy eye was studied, and then it was mapped in that 3D design, and that was a success. All those capillaries were recreated inside, and a 3D printed cornea was developed. It restored vision in several patients. Now we may find that okay, all these are of some developed countries. In India, this thing will take much more. But now say this is AI stethoscope. This is for India. It is India's company only. Okay, and it is found by doctor only. Okay, so all these are doctors only. Now what is this AI stethoscope doing? If yeah, then they are just like normal stethoscope, but once it measures, it sends the signal to the doctors. This is suppose an assistant or nurse is taking the vitals, heart vitals, and immediately it is sent to this doctor's app. Even ECG is taken, and abnormalities are detected. I am not doctor, but a little bit that some difference in the successive peaks and all those things. So bradycardia and tachycardia and everything, whatever your terms are. So those things are detected. Then BP is detected. Pulse, some abnormal sounds are there in a defective heart. They are detected, and they are immediately sent to the doctor. And you can buy it in India. This is an Indian company. So sometimes when we approach doctors with AI solutions, some doctors actually become angry also that this is our domain and why are you venturing into it? You are not qualified doctor. But we politely want to say, sirs, that all the AI companies, all the AI healthcare companies you see in India or globally, all are founded by some doctors only. So it is not we who are bringing, this is also found by this doctor, okay, he is the founder. Okay, so it is not we who are forcing AI into the healthcare. There are doctors only, more aware doctors, who are bringing AI, welcoming to the change, and who are bringing AI. And our job is not to take up your job, but our job is to help you if you want to get advance, or it is your choice if you want to stay, then fine. Then this pre-visit AI, I already showed our solution, that is that app. Okay, so we already saw that this particular app. Then there is one another which is called post-visit AI, because I told you pre-visit AI will take care of this part, taking entire history, and as the patient stays for 10 days, the history will keep on getting added. So this medicine was changed after 2 days. First medicine was not effective. This was the WBC count on day 1, day 2, day 3, up to the discharge. But after discharge, whether the patient is following up with the advices or not, taking medicines regularly or not, and making the lifestyle changes or not, for that a cardiologist designed and coded his own app. Now this is an interesting example, because cardiologist admitted that I have never coded in my last 20 years. In my school I did some elementary coding, but he used Anthropic's Claude model, which makes coding very easy. He knew exactly what he wants. That is very important. As I said in the very first slide, business requirements. So when we come to meet you, you should be very clear what you want. He himself was a doctor, so he was clear what he wants. So he developed a post. He even won the hackathon of Anthropic Cloud, in which renowned global programmers were also competing. He won the hackathon not because he was excellent programmer, but he won it because his solution had the highest potential of making difference in the life of people. Okay, so that is what happens after the patient visits, and he has equipped his entire clinic with that, and you can see he has made this kind of app. These are his patients, happy patients, and it's an Australian doctor, I think, and you can visit his website to. This is how it is. Okay, you just have to upload something, and thereafter you can get the advices. Imagine why 80-year-old patient should need to visit your clinic just to say that, okay, your all reports are normal, and continue with the same medicine. Just to hear that word, that sentence, why should you force an 80-year-old patient who may be even living in a village? Why can't we do that thing over a mobile phone? Okay. Then this edge case detection. Now, often it is argued that these AI devices are good at routine diagnosis, but they are not good at edge case detection. But this is again another Indian doctor, and I salute his frankness and open-mindedness. That you can see Mr. Manish Taneja is critical care medicine specialist, manages an ICU. Okay, so obviously he must be having IMD or maybe higher degree in the critical care. Now, I am not playing his whole video, but his video asked for a rare condition which was developed in a patient after ventilator, and he asked Gemini that.
Hi Gemini. So I have a 42-year-old male who presented.
Pakistan chasing what?
Hi Gemini. So I have a 42-year-old male who presented to us with severe road traffic accident with severe head injury. We intubated him, tracheostomized him, and it is like 7th day on ventilator on tracheostomy. Now he's developing some shadows on his X-rays. Oxygen requirement is going high. He's mounting fever around 39 degree, and his TLC count is also increasing to like 16,000. What do you think is going on?
Okay. So you can see that doctor is talking in complete medical terminology, and he is not even using Mad Gemini, just ordinary Gemini, which is accessible to all of us. And the Gemini perfectly diagnosed that his condition is due to. You can see the entire video. I cannot spare that much time here, but his condition is due to ventilator associated complications, and he even suggested entire course of treatment. And the doctor was so happy that he perfectly agreed with what the Gemini said. And it was a relatively rare kind of case, but simple Gemini solved it. So the point is, and there are much better tools than that. I will come to that. In foreign hospitals, doctors have openly started using them and openly admitting that we are using them, because there is a significant improvement in the patient's outcome and significant reduction in the mortality. So there are such very highly specialized tools, not just simple Gemini. Okay. Now coming to this part, I said that surgical branches are relatively immune to AI and robotics. Robotics also requires a lot of AI, because otherwise without vision and without perception of space and everything, a robot will not be able to work in a precision thing like an operation. So in this, yes, currently surgeons are currently considered AI safe, but I think within 10 years, it will be allowed to use robots to perform surgery. Actually, it is already being used, but under the monitoring of qualified surgeon. Otherwise, we all know that robotic knee joint surgery and hip joint surgery are happening now in Surat also. But of course, the person also must be an orthopedic surgeon. I cannot start doing that kind of surgery. I would be put in jail for that. So regulations are there. But I'm talking about that robots will start doing surgery completely autonomously. That means no surgeon will also be required. Or it might be possible that a patient is in some 500-kilometer remote village, and the doctor will guide the robot from using his mobile phone from his city operation theater, city clinic. Okay, so it might be possible, but currently it is not that advanced. So currently, what is the situation? So this is the most advanced robot which we have at present. Yeah, this is Da Vinci. It is called Da Vinci, and here autonomous is written. Autonomous means even without doctor's intervention, but you should read these also. Currently, it is allowed only to do surgery in pig cadavers. So not on human being, but pig cadavers. But it successfully performed gallbladder removal, polycystectomy. So I think within 10 years, this should be allowed for, and it performed this procedure 77 lakh, this procedure, gallbladder removal. Why they targeted first that this operation? Because there are 7,50,000 gallbladder removals done in United States alone annually. So that is why if surgical robot even as an assistant is available here, then it would be helpful. And this robot was trained just by series of videos. Okay, so that means he was shown thousands of videos of actual gallbladder operation done by human expert surgeon, and it learned it. Okay, then this was for pig, but very soon you can see this thing now. That was somewhere 2025. Now John Hopkins performs on a human cadaver, and you can see the condition. They simulated the condition of human body perfectly, like blood is oozing everywhere, and there are soft tissues. Everything which the surgeon encounters, that was found. That was put in that human cadaver, and it was this robot performed the surgery without human help. Okay, completely autonomously. But on a cadaver, still it is not yet allowed on live human being, at least in US. Why I am saying at least in US, that is also interesting. That somewhere I did not keep that link, but actually earlier we talked about one term that is called ethics dumping. Why it is difficult to prevent AI. Regulations cannot prevent. So what is this ethics dumping? Say this robot Da Vinci, which is not allowed in US, but there are countries which are relatively poor, which have lax or practically no guidelines or no regulations. So same robot was used by a doctor in Chile in his clinic, and he is actively using it. Of course, he simultaneously remains in supervision, but he is actively using it to do surgery on human beings also. So this is called ethics dumping. That when your particular country's laws will not allow to do something, then these companies are so large that they will establish one subsidiary company in some poor or developing country, and there they will start experimenting their product first. And by the time they have also already applied to this in US FDA, that we are doing in Chile and it is successful, so they are using that as a test case and presenting that as a development. This is one another great example, that is early warning system for sepsis. Now this has really transformed healthcare in US. It already got US FDA approval, again developed by John Hopkins. So John Hopkins is something phenomenal work is being done by this university in healthcare sector. So they developed an early warning system of sepsis. Sepsis is severe kind of infection, and it takes 250,000 lives every year in US alone. So imagine the situation globally. And this AI-based system that was commercialized by a company named Bayesian Health. Okay, and it detects sepsis faster than the doctors, and it has already reduced the death by 20%. So that means from this 250,000 lives lost, now only 2 lakh are lost. 50,000 lives per year are saved in US only from sepsis. Okay, and most interesting thing is that its results are so good that US FDA has already approved it. Yes, US Food and Drug Administration has been approved for use. Okay, so it is not that AI based tools require doctors supervision always. If a tool proves itself, then even strict regime like US FDA approves it. Then this laparoscopic surgery. Now again this is John Hopkins, JHU. Okay, then it performs laparoscopic surgery without human help. Okay, and again it was first done on a pig tissue, and the name of the robot is a Star. Okay, and it has successfully performed that laparoscopic surgery. Okay, urology. Now in urology there is Medtronic. Yeah, here there is the case of that ethics dumping. Medtronic sends Hugo robot in for FDA review. So what this company has done, it is a giant company in the healthcare robotics sector. So they have already sent their robot for US FDA review. But since US FDA is, they are, according to their claim, it is 98.5% surgical rate. Okay, fine. But even before US FDA approves this line, who is what I was saying, that it makes global debut in Chilean clinic. So they roped in some surgeon in Chile, and they know that there the regulations are lax. So they already started doing human surgery in Chile. So that will make their case, if it succeeds in Chile, that will make their case stronger for this FDA review in US. And if it fails in Chile, then the patients of those poor countries are the sufferers. Well, that is how this world operates. Okay. Now, in pathology, uh, this company, which is a well-known pharmaceutical company, it and this is the model in which large companies work. They don't do some, if they can't do research in a thing, they will buy out the other who are doing that kind of research. For example, this was a Path AI product for pathological, and they just simply bought it for $1 billion. Okay, so pathology also AI is going to come. In fact, it is very easy domain. I'm actually surprised why it is not yet tamed. And okay, then this Bayer, which is another big giant pharmaceutical company, it has bought one this kind of product for $2.4 billion for eye disease, so ophthalmology. And what this product is, it is a kind of eye disease implant that improves the outcome in certain ophthalmologic condition, particularly some I think that glaucoma and diabetic retinopathy and all very common conditions. Okay, now in this dentistry is considered to be tough domain to tame, because as such also with human doctors also, most of the people are many people are afraid for a dental treatment. It looks very scary. Now here also I want to show the mind-boggling speed. This is a Chinese research published on 24 January 2025. Okay, I mean last year's beginning, and even they said the future of dentistry, and within just 1 year that future already became present. So what I am saying is this thing here. This is fully automated robot dentist, world's first fully automated robot dentist, and it has already performed the procedure without any dentist even supervising. Okay, then this first automated robot dental surgery completed, and this is that robot. Okay, here it was I think done under the supervision of a dentist, maybe I think, because it is a US example, so their things are not that easy regulation wise. The landscape is strict. Okay, then this is one example. uh, Somebody has even started building such robots in bulk, and you can even buy it directly. I mean, imagine this kind of situation, that a big industrialist wants to start a dental chain all over India, and he buys say 10,000 such robots and puts a dental chain in major cities of India. Then it is possible. If he has the money, he can purchase from here. Yomi is the company, and from where to get and demo and all that. So it's a mass production. Okay, I don't know from which country this is. Yeah, Miami, Philippines, that is. Okay, so dentist robots are being sold. Okay, then there is one another also. This whole hospital is completely run. Of course, doctors are there, but this whole hospital is completely run by robot-assisted dental surgery. Okay, and the interesting thing which I want to show is these are not some very advanced country. Okay, these are the doctors and the country. As far as I found later on, what countries this hospital is there? Yeah, then it is Azerbaijan, Turkey, and Hungary. So what I am saying is that these are countries. We are saying that we are $5 trillion economy and world's third economy. So we also will start having them very soon. And this is one article which completely explains. So if some of your friends are dentists, then you can send these 5 links. And if you are trying to consider dentist as a profession for your kids or career for your kids, then you have to think. Okay, and so far whatever examples we have considered, they are from US, European Union, India, or some, as I said, from Philippines, etc. We have not considered the real big player, that is this China. China is very dangerous because of what reason? Let me explain. These 2 links show why China is very dangerous. Say this is one Springer. Springer is a very reputed research, and if you want to read some research, then at least it will not waste your time. Okay, then 23 October 2025, the research was done. What is the title? artificial intelligence in Chinese healthcare, a review of applications and future prospects. So in October 2025, they were talking in the research about future prospects. This is another research, okay, that is from ResearchGate, which is also much reputed. They say that an AI-powered public automated kiosk system, an experimental pilot study. When that experimental study was done? April 2025. Now see this, how fast Chinese work. So this is that
China unveils doctorless AI kiosks that diagnose and dispense medicine in
the healthcare kiosks which were proposed in last year, maybe May or April, are already functioning in China. And this is not just one demo piece, but yeah, you can see somewhere earlier, these are the kiosks. They will being produced in bulk, and in all civil hospitals they are even putting in metro trains and buses, so that when you are going your office, you can get healthcare checkup, and it checks all your vitals like blood pressure, and maybe it takes pulse and everything, and your heartbeats and heartbeat abnormality, plus it allows you to input any other complaint which you have, and it does your diagnosis, or maybe they have included doctors, I'm not sure, but I think it is doctorless. Okay. And then complex cases, yeah, complex cases only are handled by doctors, because public health infrastructure, civil hospitals, they are always overburdened by load, and you can see that it is not just one or two. Okay, it is hundreds and thousands of kiosks are made. Okay, this is one another example. This is the company which makes such kiosk, and they have already starting selling. You can get a demo, you can put an order online, and they will provide that kind of kiosk anywhere in the world, provided you have sufficient money. That's all. Okay, so now this is what I was saying about why China is dangerous, because they are expert at mass production, and they are almost neck to neck as US as far as the AI development is concerned. Okay, so this is the problem. Then world's first AI hospital. Forget about one AI health kiosk. Now this is an AI hospital, and here the numbers are simply mind-boggling. I will read that, and you will be surprised that. And this is not some Chinese propaganda kind of article, because this is developed. Entire hospital was developed by this university, Tsinghua University, and I checked its QS global ranking. It is ranked 17 in whole world. So no IIT or no Indian, not a single Indian university is ranked that high. Okay. Now what they have built? They have built 42 AI doctors. This paragraph I want to focus on. 42 AI doctors across 21 clinical specialties, which cover 300 diseases. And each specialty, 21, has been trained virtual agent. So this is an agentic hospital. AI agents are used, no human doctors. Okay, 42 AI doctors means agent doctors, and each 21 specialty is trained for more than 10 common conditions. So it was trained by huge number of patient cases. How many patient cases? 500,000 patient cases, so that it achieves diagnostic accuracy. And this hospital now can treat 10,000 patients in a matter of days with 93% accuracy. If human doctors want to treat them, then it would take years to treat those 10,000 patients with this accuracy. Now, entire hospital completely is run by AI agents. And if it would be normal news, I would have considered a possibility of propaganda, but it was not from China. It was from some neutral organization. And the second thing, that university is highly reputed, so it is not a made-up research. Okay, they have also made one generalist AI. Now I'm not discussing this YouTube video completely, but in this generalist AI, earlier, whenever people want to develop solution for healthcare, they are always advised that you focus on one narrow thing. For example, you only focus on maybe psychiatry, or only focus on maybe medicine, and even in medicine you focus on one niche area, how to cure TB with AI, because entire medical branch is huge, and there are so many different specialties and so many complications. But these Chinese people, they have made a generalist AI which can do pathological investigations, which can do diagnosis, which can prescribe treatment, everything except surgery. Okay, so that is one thing. Then this is also a Chinese product, but it is openly being sold and used in China. It is called CardioMind. Okay, so China, this product is intelligent AI system for diagnosing and treating cardiovascular diseases. Okay, and it's already started its trial run this February. Okay, there is a hope that it can ease pressure on the department's 136 physicians, because only 136 physicians are currently handling 8,20,000 OPDs every year. So if among the non-serious cases are tackled by this CardioMind and serious cases are escalated to the human expert cardiologist, then you can imagine how much stress will reduce on this patient, okay, on these doctors. So that is one thing. Okay, and this infographic is all the Chinese companies which are working in various domains in the healthcare. In case you have some rich friend or partner who does not want much headache and just directly want to import some Chinese kiosk or something. Okay, now let us see what we are doing in India. So just like China, why China is very relevant? Because it is also a huge population country just like India. So actually many people in India, when we go in the market and approach doctors, they say that all these things are fine in developed countries, but India में आने में तो अभी और 50 साल लग जाएंगे. So actually it is reverse because of two reasons. One I called ethics dumping, that these companies are very big, billions and billions of dollars of cash they have, and they cannot deploy their product in European Union or US. So they will choose countries where there is slightly relaxed guidelines, and also there is more chance of manipulating the system. So we all know that in India these things are possible, and also our country in a way is cannot keep very strict guideline, because we are suffering from our unique problem of non-availability of doctors. There is severe specialist shortage, high load on the OPD. I am talking about civil hospital OPD. Even private doctors who are successful, I have seen their OPD with 100 patients sometimes. Rural access is very poor. India has huge language diversity. So it will be very difficult for a doctor, even a trained doctor from maybe Gujarat. He cannot practice in some backward tribal area somewhere in Chhattisgarh or somewhere, because he won't be able to understand what patient is describing, what is his complaint. Okay, then there are fragmented records. Now this problem is being solved. Otherwise, in every hospital we go, we find a different way of keeping records. The worst is still paper-based records, big thick files. Better are slightly better are computerized record, but that is just stored in Excel sheets. Still better are some database like SQL, etc. are used. So, and everybody is using his own format. But now that is changing, because this Ayushman Bharat digitalization mission, they have given a prescribed format, and they are slowly linking all major hospitals, and hospitals also benefit a lot. They could get a lot of business because of this if they join this ABDM scheme, Ayushman Bharat scheme. Okay, so but the main condition for a hospital is that every hospital has to maintain the record in the same format. So that format you can see from their website. So now first thing we are doing, because for AI first thing we need data. So now we are getting data in a standardized format. Okay, then India has huge public health burden, because government spends a lot of money, and if you can improve health level of citizens by AI, then governments that much money can be used for actual infrastructure development, etc. And one more reason is this also, that in India health claim process is very tedious. So by auto validation, fast claim processing, patients can benefit. At the same time, there is AI can help in fraud detection. So even the mediclaim companies can benefit from that. Let us see some initiatives of Indian government. So one is this India AI portal. This is the nodal agency of government of India. So if you want to know anything about Indian AI, then you should go to this. One is this Ayushman Bharat, which is specific to this healthcare sector. One is ICMR. Okay, so this is that this is the Ayushman Bharat portal. Okay, and you can see at the bottom, if you go somewhere, then yes, somewhere here they have given exact format of healthcare records and what kind of so at the bottom you can see how many hospitals have already been integrated, how many people have downloaded ABHA app, how many healthcare professionals have registered on ABHA. So here you can see clearly that India's healthcare professionals are also welcoming, and they want to contribute their bit to improve the healthcare situation. For example, if you ask a doctor in urban setup that why just go and serve in a rural area. Now we all know that such advices are okay, but it is not very practical. The doctor also has to think about the education of his kids, and certain infrastructure is required for a good quality of life and all that. So, but if they are provided opportunity, then they are willing to contribute. That you can see by this large number of healthcare professionals that we are willing to help by digital means. Okay, and this is ICMR. All medical research are done by this standard portal, and anybody who is interested in this, they can visit this portal. And here this section I found interesting, that for both those who are practicing doctors and those who are research doctors, that is professors in college, that you can take patent for your innovations, and sometimes one intellectual property can take care of your 5-6 generations if you make a really revolutionary research. And these also I like the most, that there is a data repository, so you can get the data, healthcare data of India for your research. Okay, national health research, health data, and health data is available for many different research areas. Okay, and this I could not develop India AI, so okay, I could not open, so that is fine. That is for all domains, not just healthcare. Okay, then there is one, this particular, it is I think not a government organization, but some non-profit organization is there. So yeah, this Madhu Netra I am not able to open, but it is a non-profit organization, kind of NGO, which is working and which is treating thousands of patients with diabetic retinopathy and glaucoma. Okay, telemedicine. Here you will see that how doctors e-Sanjeevani, this portal, how it is being used by doctors. You can see this particular doctor, all are mainly MBBS or higher doctors. They have treated this many patients. Some have even treated even above 10 lakh or so patients. Okay, and I was very happy. And when I see this, when we see this, we find that we always get negative news in media, but people are spending a lot of, and these are all health officers, medical officers, so they are treating lakhs of patients all over India by this e-Sanjeevani portal. Okay, and they don't need to leave their home or something. Okay, and this many patients have been served daily. More than lakh patients are being served. Okay, so this is a very good initiative by government of India. And one more thing which this can open up is the retired doctors can even make this a career, because I am not clear, but there must be some financial incentive also. It may not be like as lucrative as a private practice, but after retirement, if health is good, many people want to contribute to the society. So this is a good opportunity for those doctors. And this is one example that India's first AI clinic was inaugurated in Noida. Now, as such, often many people sometimes dismiss this type of example as okay, government propaganda or the other way around or something. But at least this AI clinic will work. I am 100% sure. Why? Because you can see who is director. Director is this person, Brigadier Dr. Rakesh Kumar Gupta. Brigadier means he is army person, and he has learned from Armed Force Medical College, maybe Pune or somewhere, and which are the best, one of the best medical colleges in India. And army people are very disciplined and task oriented, so they will definitely do it. And who are their technical, who are providing technical health? If you see, then technical health is provided by IIT Kanpur, Madras, and Lucknow. So this AI clinic is not just some publicity gimmick or something. Within just I think 6 months or so, this should start working. Okay, then even in private sector, a lot of activity is being said at present seen. This is Cure AI. It is their claim is we are world's most adopted healthcare AI. This is also one interesting case, however, that they are using our Indian technologists. I think their branch is, they are using established in Bangalore, but it is a very big global company, and founders are also, I think, foreign people, and they are doctors only. But you must explore their website, and they claim like this, that 45 million lives improved, and we operate in 105 countries, and this many data sets we have, so definitely worth checking. Then Niramay, this is the only one out of 5 companies which which I am calling Indian because they are working in India. But this is the only one which is actually found by an Indian founder. That is, these are there also a foreign partner is there in IT sector. One needs a foreign partner to succeed, it seems. Okay, and one doctor is there. So I again say that IT professionals should not be blamed. Why are you encroaching in our territory? Actually, those doctors who are advanced with familiar with advanced technology, they are themselves venturing. Seek Tuple, this is actually a big Chinese firm, but they are also now operating globally, and they are also using our Indian talent for technology. Okay, then this particular is Seek Tuple is working in the AI pathology domain. Then this is a firm which is working in the dermatology domain, Cure Skin. Okay, and again you can see. So these are Indian companies. What I want to show is that you should not say that okay, इंडिया में तो ये सब आते आते 50 साल लग जाएंगे, कोई चिंता की जरूरत नहीं है, etc. But these are actually Indian companies. Though actually real Indian companies is only this Niramay, all others have global investors and partners. Okay, but they are already operating in India. And even those AI kiosks, that is those China's AI kiosks, which India calls AI ATM, they are also started in I think some people have already started in these are Hyderabad AI kiosks, Bolu, Mini and Max rolled out, that you can read here. Then Medi Ilaj launches AI powered healthcare and diagnostic kiosk platform in India. So that is also there. Then maybe I read one other, no, this is not that one. Yeah, okay. So AI kiosks are being launched. Hospital chains. So there are 3 pillars of India's AI healthcare development: government, private sector, and hospital chains. So Apollo is using, I showed already their website to you earlier. Okay, so Apollo is using AI. Tata Memorial Hospital for the cancer research and cancer treatment, they have started using AI. Then Manipal has started using AI. Manipal is also a global giant actually. It is now operating in many countries, but mainly in India, and it is Indian. They are serving in this many cities, and you can see that they have this many beds and all that. Okay. Now this is Thyrocare. They are also starting to use AI. Okay. So Indian firms, big and small, have started using AI. So that option is now not there, that AI will not come in India and I don't need to worry. You can choose to ignore and you can continue practicing in your old way, or you can start adapting. That is a different thing. And this slide I will not discuss because throughout the whole webinar we have discussed that only, that these are the high impact domain in which maximum actual clinical adoption has done: radiology, then genomics, drug discovery, personalized medicine, public health and screening, and clinical documentation. That is that patient's history and patient's follow-up and all that. Okay, insurance and all that, right? Okay. Now coming to our second part of our webinar, and now this is just talking. So far we have talked about potential and positive aspects, but there are some pitfalls also. Pitfalls means there are certain points which guide us that we should not use the without doctor approach, or the doctor in loop approach is still safer until the technology matures sufficiently. So one is hallucination. Now hallucination is generating totally fictitious, false answers. Large language models generate that type of answer in a very convincing and fluent language. For example, if you take a complex research topic and tell ChatGPT or Gemini that give me 20 top level research papers on this topic, then it is almost sure that out of 20, only 15 links or maybe 12 links will be genuine. 5 to 8 links will be totally fictitious. It will give the name of some author, say Dr. Stephen so and so, and other co-authors of the study, and the name of the university. It will even give fictitious DOI for that is the unique identifier of that research paper, and whether it is in Elsewhere or whether it is in ResearchGate. But when you click that link, you will not find that research at all. You will find some totally different research, or sometimes you will just get 404 error. That means there is nothing like that on the internet. So these models sometimes make up facts. So that is why human oversight is required. Okay. Then second thing is AI technology is not yet fully validated in India. Now, what that means? Many doctors complain that most of the AI models are developed by Western firms, and the patient's data on which those models are trained, they are also mainly Caucasian or African, that kind of patients. And our Indian patients have different genetics, our nutrition is different, our body types are different, and our food habits are different, our exercise and all daily habits are different. So their models may give certain solution which is accurate for them, but for our patient it may not be very accurate. And this is true to some extent. However, here also you will find one very positive example, that Indian government has now made open 42,000 genetic profiles which anybody can download, or any pharmaceutical company can download, of all different species that is subspecies of Indian. That is, they took a sample from one caste and one community, another caste and another community, one state, another state, and entire India is represented in those 42,000 samples. So now our pharmaceutical company can tailor the medications to our genetic structure. Okay. Then one risk is automation bias. That clinicians should not forget that AI is a second reader. It is an assistant. It is not senior consultant, and you should not start behaving like junior. That means taking everything at the face value. Whatever AI says, you just take it as a face value, that now this model is trained on millions of patients of data, so it must be correct, and therefore let me just prescribe whatever the model is saying. Always keep your critical and cross validation mindset active. Then there is an issue of privacy and consent. Okay. So this privacy is important thing in the healthcare sector, because when you put your records on a server, then there is a what is the guarantee that those records will not be accessed? However, I can ensure, because we are following all those practices, that's why I can ensure that what we do is we completely anonymize the record. So we do not write name or even demographic detail that the patient is from this area, etc. Just the records will mention a male patient with age this and this health complaints, like that. So completely anonymized. We do not take Aadhaar number or birth date or anything in our clinical report. Okay. Then second thing is, even after that, the normal data is saved on a secure server, but healthcare data is saved on server which are using military grade security. That is, these are HIPAA compliant, or sometimes if you are catering to European clients, then European privacy rules are even stricter than US. So then we have to use only servers which are compliant with that. So that is also the reason why sometimes the cost of healthcare solutions slightly is more than other industry, because sometimes doctor asks that why can't I put on my own server, that is in my own PC. I can invest some 20 lakh rupees and I can put a server in my hospital. Well, you can put, there is no issue, but then you will be responsible for the security of the data. So in case that data leaks, then there might be complication. Here what we do is we take a contract with Azure or AWS, and they provide that HIPAA compliant platform. So thereafter the accountability is there. Second thing is here, this accountability, that if AI gives some recommendation and treatment is given according to that, and if treatment fails and something happens to the patient, then how will you hold an AI accountable? I mean, this is an unresolved case, and that is why doctor in loop is required, that you have to okay, I can do everything. Suppose after 10 years AI becomes so advanced that it studies the symptoms and diagnoses and prescribes the treatment, but still somebody has to sign it, somebody has to authorize it, otherwise this cannot work. Okay. Then model drift, which I talked in the very first slide, that even very good models after certain time their performance start going down. So you have to continuously means it is not that you need a data scientist help every day, but after periodically, maybe after 6 months or so, visit is required, and the data scientist will continuously monitor as the performance is going down. Then he will do the needful. Their doctor does not have that headache. All the monitoring, and in fact nowadays monitoring is also being so highly automated that A doctor or hospital administration has zero headache for that, but the person who is building the solution, they are responsible for that. So any person who is selling AI solution in healthcare, they are responsible for ensuring accuracy of their models. Let us see some shocking examples which show that AI can sometimes create unpleasant experience. Here, this is the example of a dummy doctor. Now, this is in Gujarati, so if some of you are not familiar with the language, but I am just telling you the summary of this. That there was an AI chatbot deployed for healthcare sector, and it claimed that it has. Sorry, not an AI chatbot, but a person was interacting with AI chatbot and asking for health advice. And the chatbot started behaving like a doctor. It claimed that I am certified with British Medical Association and I have 7+ years of experience. And so AI hallucinated and created false credentials. Now, obviously, it was a research experiment, so it was caught at that moment only. It was the whole experiment was only conducted to check if AI is reliable or it makes some that kind of claim. So thereafter, that model was improved and more checks and balances were introduced inside. But if in during trial run it happens, that is fine. But during real deployment, if such things happen, then it may create issue. This is another alarming problem with AI, data wipeout. Now here, but this is a problem with AI agents only. Remember, that is completely autonomous without any human intervention. This Eli Lilly is a big pharmaceutical company, and its 9,000 petaflop data was wiped out by AI agent without consulting the database administrator. So even though while that agent was made, clear instructions were given that do not delete anything from the data without backup and everything, the agent somehow disregarded the instructions and deleted entire database. Fortunately, the company had another backup on its own computer, but if that backup would not be there, then 7,000 petaflop data is humongous data. It would be years of research made by that company, and it would create a loss of billions of dollars. Okay, then this is one more thing about bias. Now here there are different examples of how bias affects AI tools. Okay, so bias are of many type, and these are real examples. I'm not going into all that, but I will just discuss one or two. But you can see that example. Okay, and real examples. Of course, you can also see that the latest example was of 2023, and this is one 2025. Yeah. Apart from that, now AI companies have made good advance in removing bias from their models. I am taking this particular case in healthcare. So it was found, it is very interesting, that skin cancer detection app was developed, and it was found that that app initially its overall accuracy was found to be 83%. So it was deployed that 83% is a decent accuracy for skin cancer, but it started giving random results for female patients and black patients. So then the scientists decided that okay, let us check individual group wise accuracy. So it was found that for male white patients it was 99% accurate, but for female white patient it was only 70% or so accurate, and for black patient also it was only 70% or so accurate. So that 83% overall accuracy, that was average of 99 plus 70 plus 70 divided by 3. So the point is that female patients and black patients, they were not accurately being diagnosed by their AI model. Then what is the problem? They found that data itself was over-representing males. That means if 10,000 photographs of cancer lesion, skin lesion was shown to the model during training, and out of 10,000, it is possible that around 8,500 were white males, around only 1,000 were white females, and around only 500 were black population. Okay, so as a result, what happened is the model did not have enough training on white females and black population, and therefore its accuracy was bad. So they had to get more samples of white females and many more samples of black males and black females, and then their model started working satisfactorily. This type of bias is called data bias, because everything in AI works on past data. So if past data itself is skewed, it is not representing all classes equally, then that solution will also continue that data. Okay, so that is one thing. Similarly, there is algorithmic bias. Algorithmic bias, for example, Amazon had built one AI-based recruitment tool, but it was found that that algorithm was such bias that it was always giving preferential treatment to white males. So that means females were usually rejected even though they were equally qualified and their performance in the interview was also good. And others other than white, that is Asians, Chinese, black people, they were also discriminated. So Amazon had to correct that. Okay. Then this is also one alarming example that AI systems even resort to blackmail. So Anthropic, while they were developing Cloud Opus model, they developed one slightly advanced model. We know now it is Opus 4.6. So the developer, who was a very experienced computer engineer and AI specialist, told Opus 4 that now you are retiring. That means we are switching you off. And suddenly that model started blackmailing that developer that I have access to all your emails, because that agent was used to sort out the emails and automatically answer the emails. So I have access to all your emails. I know many secret and intimate details about you. And if you switch off me, then I will share those details all over social media. And Anthropic company itself was candid enough that they admitted that their model has that security flaw, and therefore they had to do a lot of work to remove this kind of behavior, and security guardrails needed to be introduced. Okay, so this is what is the situation, and in this. The question is, if AI can do such dangerous behavior, then should we not ban AI completely? But now say this is like such dangerous behaviors are fringe events, rare events, okay, and such dangerous behavior is also done by human beings. Sometimes we have seen some doctor death in Australia who killed several of his own patients, and some doctor. So that does not make all the doctors bad. Say out of millions of doctors, if 10 cases are found who do some illegal and very bad activities, so it happens. Exactly here, we can minimize this thing, we cannot remove. But therefore, we should not ban AI, because it's a counter benefit also you have to see. For example, Europe, which is the strictest regime for regulation, decided that we will allow AI with monitoring, because in Europe only, European Union only, in 2023, it was found that human doctors' error caused 1,60,000 deaths. 1,63,000 deaths. Okay, and it was also found that 30% of those errors are due to communication failure. Because see, what patient describes, then what patient describes, what doctor understands, what doctor conveys to the nurse, what nurse conveys, or what one doctor conveys to the surgeon. Everywhere there is a chance of misunderstanding. So it was found that when AI was used for history taking and follow up and everything, then such communication error reduced a lot. Okay, so AI can be used for a lot many healthcare related tasks, and if you weigh the pros and cons, then benefits outweigh the risk. Now these next two slides are for researchers. There I don't have anything to show. These are just quality research sources where you need to follow if you want to produce some real good research. And those who want to immigrate to US or other European country or Nordic countries, they have their one special category that if you have published around 10 high quality research papers, then you can apply for visa under that category, and you might get citizenship very fast. But of course, it must be high quality publications like Google Health Research publications, or elsewhere PubMed, then Nature, then other which we talked about just now. Okay, so these links you must follow. I just want to talk about these two. This consensus is for researchers, and this open evidence is for practicing doctors. This consensus, so for researcher, they don't need to jump here and there for on Google or on ChatGPT or Gemini, because this single chatbot, it is a ChatGPT only, but ChatGPT for healthcare research, designed exclusively for healthcare research. So it has a repository of 200 million peer-reviewed research papers exclusively in the healthcare sector. And if you want to produce quality research, then you need to use this. Similarly, this open evidence, and this is so good tool that abroad many doctors are secretly or openly starting to use it as a second opinion. And it is a normal practice in healthcare sector. Whenever a complicated case comes during surgery, for example, then a junior surgeon often calls a senior surgeon for expert opinion. And there is nothing wrong, because ultimate aim is to save the life. Okay, so this open evidence is so good that it has been banned in those countries where regulations are not clear. So unfortunately, it is not available in India at present. But there are ways to bypass that restriction. I don't want to teach that, but there are ways. But in those countries, doctors openly keep his assistant with a laptop or a iPad, and this site is open evidence, and they simultaneously describe the during operation also they describe the symptom and where things are stopping or where complication is developing. Say blood flow, bleeding is not stopping. In gynecological operations, often that happens. So how to do, what to do in this kind of situation? You can even send the direct video, upload the direct video on the platform, and the model will recommend what are immediate best solutions, and it has been highly appreciated. Okay, this is other collection of research, and here I have given the name of this organization and for which kind of research you should select this link. Okay, and finally I am closing this webinar with this, that AI will not replace doctors, but doctors who understand safe, evidence-based and workflow-based AI will be better positioned than those who ignore it. Okay. This is interesting example. In 1986, when calculators were invented, maths teacher created a huge march in Britain, I think, that this will lead to deterioration in maths research, and this will make math teachers jobless and all that. But we all know how in demand good math teachers still today are. So that is what every technology does. It just changes the way of working. It never makes you workless. Okay, and you have to adapt to those changed way of working. That is all. Thank you.